What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Five Field channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. I decided to give myself a week off after that Buffalo Bills game last week. This was sort of a mini bye for the Miami Dolphins. We went all the way from playing last Thursday night up until Monday night. Nothing really much crazy happened this week with the Dolphins. Just more talk about the eventual firing of Mike McDaniel, Tua saying more shit that he shouldn't be saying. He's done more with his mouth than he has on the football field this year, and we'll talk about it. Of course, we are going to talk about it, and we could potentially talk about how if one of these teams win, we could get the ball rolling. Maybe we could be back. I don't know. But this is a crucial Monday night game for a lot of reasons. And even though the Jets are 0-3 and the Dolphins are 0-3, this is a crucial Monday night game for a lot of reasons. Number one, both 0-3, yes. But you look at both of their schedules coming up, you got a lot of winnable games on the Jets schedule and the Miami Dolphins schedule. So if you win, you get that momentum a little bit. You start racking up wins to certain points of the year, and then one of these teams could get themselves back in a solid position. You lose this game, you are fully tanking the rest of the season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even if you're the Dolphins, you are tanking the rest of the season. You fire Mike McDaniel. You trade Tyreek Hill. You look for your next franchise quarterback. And even though Tua Tagovailoa has fully guaranteed money for next season, you're still drafting a quarterback next year in the first round, no matter what. Tua could be next year's version of Russell Wilson, for all that I care. This is a big game, and I can't decide what would be better for the team. What I do know is I'm not cheering for this team to lose. No way. Like, I've seen other Dolphin fans on Twitter talk about how we need to see this team lose. It is better if we lose. As fans, we need to cheer for them to lose. And you could make the argument, sure, it is better for the Dolphins to lose. Okay, that's a fair argument. It's better for the Dolphins to lose because of a better draft pick, and they lose this game. You know, they're not going to get less in the division, possibly, depending on how the rest of the season goes. But to sit there and say we should cheer for them to lose against the Jets, bro. Like, I would understand if this was next week against the Carolina Panthers. Okay. But against the Jets, dude. The fucking Jets. I'm sorry, but I cannot sit there for the life of me and cheer for the Jets against my favorite football team, the Miami Dolphins. I just can't do that. On prime time, Monday night, in the black unis, I can't do it. And I will be cheering my ass off for this team in a big game, because you look at both team schedules coming up. Okay, so they're both 0-3. Rough starts. The Jets, we'll get to them in a little bit. But you look at the Dolphins, their next 5 games, you look at the next 5 games in the season. And granted, the Dolphins suck, but there's a lot of winnable games on their schedule. You got the Jets this week. You got the Jets this week at home. Next week, you are at Carolina. Winnable game. Carolina is not a powerhouse, so you could win that game. Then you got the Chargers. That's a tough one. You are probably going to lose to the Chargers. At Cleveland, winnable game. Again, even though they just beat the Packers, very winnable game. And then the Atlanta Falcons, Michael Penix stinks. We don't even know if he's going to be the starter by the time we get to that game. So realistically, if we beat the Jets this week, we could be 4-4. We could be 500 going into a Thursday night football game against the Baltimore Ravens. Key word is we could be. I'm not saying we're going to be, but who knows? We could beat the Jets on Monday night, and then we could go and lose to Carolina in 6 days, and all of this means nothing. But then you look at the Jets, and the Jets are a couple plays away from being 2-1 this season. They got boat raced by the Buffalo Bills, but they nearly beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they nearly beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very, very close to beating both of those teams. And then I feel like if the Jets win, which let's knock on wood they don't win, they are set up to potentially go on a run. You say the Jets are 1-3. They play the Cowboys next week. The Cowboys suck. The Denver Broncos, going to be a tough game. The Panthers, that's a winnable game for the Jets. Cincinnati, now that Joe Burrow's not the quarterback, that's a winnable game. Then they play the Browns. That's a very winnable game. And that could potentially set you up for, if you're a Jets fan, and I'm trying to be realistic as possible, that could set you up at either 4-5 or 5-4 heading into a Week 11 Thursday night game against the Patriots. So whoever wins this game might be right back in it, and whoever loses this game is done for the season. I'm not saying that one of these teams is going to get back in it, or they are fully back. Like a home win against the Jets. You should not be puffing your chest out after beating the Jets at home. But what I will say before we get into the actual game itself is forgot what I was going to say. God damn, bro. Alright, whatever. I forgot what I was going to say. If it comes up in my mind, I will tell you guys. This is what happens when you record live and you upload. But we're going to get into it. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Decided to take a week off after that Bills game last week. Just wanted to, it was a bye week kind of, with our next game being on Monday night. So we had 10 days in between. Spent a lot of time with the girlie this week. Babe, if you're watching, shout out to you. And yeah, man, just spent some time. I was at 2 Phillies games this week. Tuesday night, where it was a rain delay in the bottom of the 9th inning. So got my ass out of the stadium. And then they lost in a heartbreaker in extra innings. But 9th inning rain delay, dude. Bottom of the 9th inning, believe it or not. So lame. But that wouldn't have happened if Johan Duran didn't give up a home run against the Marlins. And then I was at the game on Wednesday night where the Phillies hit a franchise record 8 home runs. That was very cool to be at. They beat the shit out of the Miami Marlins. And they would clinched home field advantage in the second round. They clinched a second round bye, or a bye into the second round, I should say. So, baseball playoffs, they start next week, dude. And I'm very excited. And hopefully my Phillies can make a good run this season. So, alright. Before we talk about this game, we gotta talk about this Tua. And this Tua just cannot shut his mouth at all. And he has done more with his mouth this season than he has results on the football field. And the entire national media is clowning him for his actions in the press. And you can tell he's not handling this well. He's not handling this 0-3 start at all. He's not handling it well because he is very sensitive. He goes out and he points the finger at coaches. He goes and points the finger out at player execution. He goes and points the finger out at backup tackles, backup guards. He goes and he says, I wonder who's going to be in the film room watching this, or watching the film after the Colts game. I wonder who's going to come in the film room on Tuesday on the day off. The only person Tua should be focusing on is Tua. And he's doing too much, and he is shook when he's on the football field. You see his eyes light up. He's making mistakes like a rookie quarterback. First read, you stare at the wide receiver I still can't get over that. That interception against the Bills. When you're at the 20-yard line, you're driving down, and you stare right at Jalen Waddle for 5 seconds before you throw it right to him. That's a mistake a rookie quarterback would make. And he had some comments about the fans and the national media. This was particularly Cam Newton. The criticizing of his play following the contract extension that he got, where he was asked, every time Tua turns the ball over, it's like, oh, we paid $53 million a year for this. And he's the highest paid player on the team, and he's not stepping up when it matters. This is what Tua had to say this week about the critics and Cam Newton. Hold on.
Well, anybody can play quarterback in this league then. I mean, I want to see anybody on the streets come and play quarterback. I mean, Cam's doing his thing for sure, but I think it's easier to be able to hold a clicker and talk about it that way, or talk about what someone else is doing wrong when you're not going out and having to do the same as them, right? So I think it's easy to do that. I think anybody can do that. I don't think anybody can play quarterback. So
now, granted, it's probably very hard to be a quarterback in the NFL. The game day operations and memorizing all the plays. I'm not saying it's easy to be an NFL quarterback, but to say that Cam Newton is somebody off the street, to be talking about somebody like Cam Newton who you're calling just a rando off the street, brother, this guy was an MVP in 2015. He single-handedly led the Carolina Panthers to a Super Bowl. He single-handedly led the Carolina Panthers to a Super Bowl in 2015. And you're calling that dude a rando? That's absolutely insane, dude. Absolutely insane, and he doesn't know how to shut his mouth. And it's old, and it's very tiring. And not only does it make you look bad, it makes us, the fan base, look bad. So, that's my thoughts. It's my quick thoughts on the whole Tua and Cam Newton situation. He's definitely feeling the pressure, and this is probably the most pressure he's felt in his career since the 2021 season. So, with Brian Flores. So, okay. Let's get into this stinker, shall we? Let's get into this. We got the Jets and the Dolphins. We're going to get into some stats. Let's start with the Jets offense against the Dolphins defense. We will do that. And before I do, I will read you the injury report now. Let me pull it up here. It's not finalized yet. They got their last day of practice tomorrow. And then we will know who's going to be questionable and who's not going into Monday night. So here we go. This is the Dolphins injury report. Only 5 players on there. Absolutely beautiful sight to see right there. But the only ones we should be worried about, Storm Duck and Jason Marshall. They both did not practice. And who are they even going to be rolling out at that point? Ethan Bonner, Rasul Douglas, Jack Jones, and Ethan Bonner. I wouldn't even know who the replacement is if Jason Marshall doesn't play on Monday night. And then the only ones we should know about for the Jets are Jarvis Brownlee, corner, did not practice. And then Jermaine Johnson did not practice. That's a big one right there. If they're without Jermaine Johnson, that's a good thing for the Miami Dolphins. So okay. The Jets offense against the Dolphins defense. The Jets are the 25th ranked offense in the NFL with 271 yards per game. The Dolphins defense is ranked 26th, 370 yards allowed per game. A disgrace. Every single unit on the Dolphins sucks. It's horrible. The Jets' passing offense is ranked 31st, 166 yards per game. Dolphins' passing defense is ranked 21st, 338 yards per game allowed in the air. The Jets' rushing offense is ranked 9th, 127 yards per game on the ground. We will get more into that. The Dolphins' rushing defense is ranked 28th, 145 yards allowed on the ground. So that's my concern, is the Jets' backs and Justin Fields running all over this Dolphins defense. And yeah, Justin Fields has had 2 full practices coming off his concussion in week 3. So he is probably going to be playing for the Jets more than likely. It is going to be Justin Fields. And he torched the Miami Dolphins in 2022 with his legs. And they got Breece Hall. And they got Braylon Allen. And the Dolphins have yet to stop the run. They have yet to manage a running back, whether it be Jonathan Taylor, whether it be Ramondre Stevenson, James Cook. They couldn't stop any opponent's opposing running backs. And it's quite sad that this front 7 is as bad as it is, because, boy, I remember like it was yesterday that we were raving about this front 7 with Zealer and Jalen Phillips and Chubb and Chop, and bringing in Judon, and drafting Kenneth Grant, and Benito Jones, and the linebackers, and nobody, absolutely nobody, outside of Bradley Chubb has done shit for this front 7 this season. Zach Zealer got paid. He is a ghost, and the only time he makes an impact is to help the team lose. Jalen Phillips can't finish a play. Chop Robinson, I do think Chop will pick it up, hopefully. The linebackers stink. Terrell Dotson stinks. I want to see more Willie Gay this week over Terrell Dotson. Terrell Dotson is not a good pass defender whatsoever. Not at all. The corners, not good. And the Jets don't have a good receiving room. And we will get to that as well. Their receiving room is not that great. They got Garrett Wilson, but they got nobody outside of Garrett Wilson. They number 2 receiver is Tyler Johnson, former Tampa Bay Buck, 4 catches for 63 yards. They got Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, Tyler Johnson, Arian Smith, and Alan Lazard. I guaranteed one of those 4 receivers, not named Garrett Wilson, is gonna have a hell of a game against this secondary. And this is a big testament for Anthony Weaver. Not because the Jets' offense is some juggernaut, but the fact of the matter is, the Dolphins haven't been able to stop shit. And they looked unprepared against the Indianapolis Colts. And the Patriots could have done whatever the hell they wanted against us. We got stops against the Buffalo Bills in the second half. I'll give you that. You still gave up over 30 points. But I'll tell you this. If this defense goes out there with 11 days of preparation, okay? 10 days of preparation for this game, and they give up, they play horrible like they have against the Colts and the Patriots and the Bills, I'm telling you right now, Anthony Weaver, he might need to be fired with Mike McDaniel, because we had expectations for this front 7. Even though the secondary sucks and it got exposed really bad in week 1, we had high expectations for the secondary, and it's not good. Or not the secondary, the front 7, and it's not good. It is not good at all. It is ugly. It is bad. It is disgusting football. There's only one team who doesn't have a takeaway this season, and you're looking at them, the Miami Dolphins. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. So with all that we just talked about, with the run game and the Jets receivers and takeaways, you guys probably know the 3 takeaways. My 3 keys for the Dolphins defense against the Jets offense. Number 1, stop the run. Stop the run. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen's a big physical back. And Breece Hall has yet to have a great game this year. So maybe he's due. And Justin Fields, with his legs, is very dangerous. And in order to make them throw, in order to make Justin Fields have to throw the ball, you got to stop the run. You just got to. It's that simple. So number 1, stop the run. Number 2, in the passing game, make any receiver outside of Garrett Wilson beat you. If you have to throw, if the Jets throw, had to answer a text message real quick. If the Jets are throwing the ball, don't make Garrett Wilson beat you. It's easier to say than it is to actually do it, but It's what has to be done. And then number 3, gotta get takeaways, man. You gotta get a fucking takeaway this week. An interception, a fumble. You gotta get a takeaway somehow. Get some momentum for this team. Get some great field position for the offense. And let them go put up points. That's what we gotta do. So, those are my 3 keys. Stop the run. Contain Garrett Wilson. Make any receiver beat you outside of Garrett Wilson. And get takeaways. And then we get to this putrid offense of the Miami Dolphins against the Jets defense. And this loser of a quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. The Jets defense is ranked 22nd, 340 yards allowed per game. The Dolphins offense is ranked 23rd, 181 yards per game. Jets passing defense is ranked 13th, 219 yards allowed per game. Dolphins passing offense is ranked 22nd, 202 yards per game through the air. Not good at all. Compared to 2 years ago when we were number 1, where's that offense? Where's that Tua Tagovailoa? We really miss him. Jets rushing defense is ranked 23rd, 133 yards per game. And then the Dolphins rushing offense is ranked 26th, 89 yards. Where do I even begin, dude? I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say with this offense. Because, yeah, they put up points during the game. But in the biggest moments, if it's a 1-score game, do you honestly trust Tua Tagovailoa to come through? Absolutely not. How can you? After what we watched against the Patriots and against the Bills, how can you come through with this? My one takeaway, my one key is Mike McDaniel has to coach a perfect game. A perfect game. And I will give him credit where credit is due. He coached the best game he possibly could against the Bills. And it wasn't good enough. So you got to be better. You've got to come out better this week. And get play calls in on time. You're at home, for crying out loud. On prime time. Get it done. Mike McDaniel. This game, your career lies in the hands of this game. If you lose this game to the Jets, you're gone, buddy. You're gone after this game. Because then the Dolphins will be 0-4. They'll have to tank the rest of the season for the future. And they will lose back-to-back-to-back games in their own division. That right there, if he wasn't fired already, that should be the exclamation point. Losing all those games to your division rivals. So, that's all I got. Whether or not this team is going to win, like I said against the Bills, I was fully confident that the Bills were going to beat the Dolphins, and I thought they were going to smack the Dolphins. And I didn't have as much hype for the Bills game as I did the Colts and the Patriots game, sort of. And I'm feeling the same way this week. I'm not feeling the hype. Who can? I'm not feeling the hype for this game at all. The Jets are 0-3, but the Jets show heart for Aaron Glenn, and they are a better team than the Dolphins are, unfortunately. And I think Monday night, around 10:30, we're going to be talking about the Dolphins losing again. We're going to be talking about another loss. I hope that's not the case. We're not going to do anything this year, but shit, I want to beat the Jets because I hate the Jets. I want to beat them. So, I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. I will be back Monday night, unless something else happens, and I will be here with another video. But if not, I'll be back here Monday night after the Jets and the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. The game is at 7:15. There's 2 Monday night games this week. Jets, Dolphins, and Bengals, Broncos. We are the first game. So we will get done a little bit earlier than usual in a primetime game. So subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the game. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. And follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Colin_Joseph. I will see you guys Monday night. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. And let's go Dolphins.